So for today's lesson, I want to transport you to the 3rd century BC to an island called Sicily, and in particular in a town called Syracuse. On this island was a famous Greek mathematician called Archimedes. But before we get to him, I want to tell you about the king who was living there at the time. Now this king really wanted to somehow transport his crown, make a crown using pure gold. And he ordered a goldsmith along to do this. And when he was presented with the crown and he wore the crown upon his noble head, he thought something was amiss. It felt a little light considering it was meant to be made entirely of gold. And he didn't know how to prove that he may have been swindled by this goldsmith. So he called upon our friend Archimedes. Archimedes, as I said, was a famous mathematician around that time, and he was challenged by this notion of trying to work out how he could discover how much the volume of this crown would weigh, because at the moment they couldn't measure that because it's too big, and they couldn't work out how to measure that. And so he spent hours and hours and hours trying to work on it. It went through days and days, and he still couldn't come to the solution that he was looking for. Tired and exhausted, he decided to go and have a bath. And as he stepped into the bath, all of a sudden he yelled, "Eureka!" because he had found the answer to his problem. How did he get to that solution? So if we take this drawing that I've done, you can see how I've drawn the picture of the bathtub at a certain level. When Archimedes steps into the bathtub, the water level rises up, as you can see in this other drawing I've done. And this is kind of essentially what he's done. He's noticing as he steps into the bath, the water level is rising up. And you can see an example of this when, if we take a look at this video I shot of my daughter, as she's placing her hand into the glass, you can see that the water level rises up. So let's show that a little bit more clearly. I've got a glass of water here that's about halfway filled here. And when I place this bottle inside, you'll see that the water will shift like so. This is a physical representation of water displacement theory. And from this, we can actually work out the volume of an object. The way this is done is that you would take the first measurement of the water in milliliters here. And when you place the object that you need to measure the volume for and place it in, you would then measure where the water is up to here in milliliters. You work out the difference between the two measurements, and you would then transfer that into cubic meters, and from that measurement, that final measurement, you would deduce that that is the volume of this object. So from Archimedes' principle we get water displacement theory, and from that we get how to measure volume using an object.